Often when we are dealing with our own personal trauma and we are trying to either work on the healing process, maybe part of our healing process is really just sitting in it and not doing anything. Maybe we are in the throes of, depression or anxiety, or we just don't have the tools and the resources, or we just don't have the will to really do much when it comes to healing. And that is part of the healing process, by the way. I think that in our relationships can become fractured without us knowing it unconsciously, because the people that are in our lives that love us or care about us don't really know how to deal with it, don't know how to cope or manage it. And a lot of that comes with not just because somebody cares and loves for you, they want things to be better for you. They want you to be happy. They want you to be like the best version, happy version, right, of yourself. Especially when you're in relationships where things are really good and things start out great and you're really happy and joyful and a lot of fun, and something then is thrust upon you, something out of your control, and things, your health, your mental health, your emotional health, those things start to fall apart, and then you are no longer in that moment, and that moment can last for a long time, the person that you used to be. And that's really hard, because I think that the people that are on the receiving end of whatever it is that we're going through, they love you for who you are, not what you are or what you maybe brought to the table in the relationship, but they are, you are a different version, like just a different, you're not happy. And the people that love us want us to be happy. So a lot of times they either become, fixers, and they overdo it, or some just become frozen and sort of go into a hole because they don't know how to deal with it. So I think that that's something to be aware of, and not take, don't internalize any sort of blame, shame, or guilt about it. I think it's like just cause and effect. But on the flip side of it, please communicate, communicate with the people that you love when you're going through something, because the only way to really grow a relationship and make a relationship stronger is usually through the hard stuff. And you have to communicate, and you have to be vulnerable, and you have to be honest, and you have to break yourself wide open and let people see you, not just for when you're happy and joyful and things are good, but when you're falling apart. And if you need something from another party, right, somebody in your relationship, they're not mind readers. And we only are as good as, really what we've been taught, and our own coping mechanisms and tools and resources. And sometimes that's different. It looks different for how we take care of ourselves and how we have to show up for other people. So don't be afraid to communicate, because if you need love, like my husband said to me this morning, we were talking about my own personal experiences with this, and I said to him, I was like, dude, I just need love. That's why I'm all over my dog all the time, because my dog every single day comes over, wants me to hug her, kiss her, happy to see me. If I cry, my dog is by my side. She doesn't freeze up and not respond, walk over and give me a hug or whatever it is, because she doesn't know how to deal with me. It's just all instinct. There's no ego involved whatsoever. So if you need something, don't just expect that the people that love you are just going to be mind readers and that they're going to figure it out on their own. Sometimes you have to have those conversations, and those conversations are not easy. They're a struggle. They're tough. It is going to bring an awareness to the other person of where they might need to do some work, because you may be going through something and struggling in your own journey, and that is part of your journey and part of your growth and evolution. But the other person in your relationship, you being part of them and connected to them, you are also a part of their journey. So where you may need to heal something within yourself, they, through you, are also supposed to be healing something about them that has nothing to do with you, right? It has something to do with their own past, their own programming. They are just as much a part of that overall journey in their own individual way, as you are of yours. So it is really, really important to just give each other a lot of space, to be aware when things don't feel right, and to not just make assumptions in your mind. Don't just listen to those ego voices that are part of your intuition that are telling you like the worst case scenario about what is going on in your relationship, because it is not easy to deal with hard times. And when we are not at our happiest, you may be like feeling judgmental of yourself about, again, what you can't do in a relationship, that you're not enough, that you're not showing up enough, and then you feel like somebody doesn't love you anymore. But when you are happy, and again, you are a victim to something, and then it is affecting you, and you are not treating the person in your relationship the way that you used to as well, that also is on their side of it. They're internalizing it, and they're thinking about it like, how can I feel so bad for this person, but they also feel like they're not enough. Like, oh my God, I wish this person could pull themselves out of their own thing, because isn't my love enough? But it's not that simple, right? It's much more complex than that. So give yourself a lot of space and grace this week. Love yourself, love the people around you. Everybody's got to make an effort. We've all got to communicate, because sometimes the effort is not needed. Sometimes all the effort is just being like, hey, like I need some space. Like we don't even need to talk about this. And sometimes a discussion and communication needs to be, it needs to be had. And sometimes it needs to be vocalized, and sometimes it needs to be forced. But follow your intuition, and always love yourself in that. And don't create, in your actions illusions. Let illusions and a false reality and ego guide your way, and really rule over how you look at yourself or how you look at other people in your relationships. Have a great week.